All right. Welcome, Councillor.
Put it on the Facebook.
Yeah, I'll have to copy it, yeah.
Just
Not go. Okay, so looks like we got everybody here, and welcome everybody. And just a reminder, yes, we are live streaming to YouTube now. So flashing light is going to drive me nuts, but that's okay. So the first meeting tonight is the Town of Lake Cowichan Special Council meeting to be held tonight, December 15th.
is it already on?
6 p.m. So I'd like to call that meeting to order, please. And are there any late items to add to this special meeting agenda?
Just if I may, Mr. Mayor, with the backdrop of Whoville that you may see here, I thought it was appropriate that I channeled Cindy Lou Who in the invitation for everyone to join us. I will turn the light off. It will drive everyone nuts, but a little bit of levity to start the meeting, and hopefully everybody gets a laugh.
Much appreciated. I can hardly wait till now. Okay, so any other late items to add to this special meeting agenda for tonight? So approval of the agenda, please. Looking for that motion. Moved by Councillor Austin, second by Councillor Bomaka. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, that motion's carried. Thank you very much. Mr. Fernandez, do we have any minutes to approve?
No minutes.
Thank you very much. Business arising unfinished business, I see none, no delegations. We'll have to move past the verbal comments from the public at this time because of our virtual presence. We don't have that built in yet. And then we can move to correspondence. And correspondence, action items. Okay, we're going to, what are we going to call that? It says I, Rosemary Bonanno, regarding the 2021 Vancouver Island Regional Library Board appointments. I believe, Mr. Fernandez, we're looking for a representative and a alternate, are we?
Yes.
Yes, it has a yearly issue that we have to do this every year. So Councilor McGonigal?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I thought we had made a resolution at an earlier meeting on those appointments, and if not, this would be the appropriate time. But I thought we had broached that question earlier.
You had broached it, yes, but no appointments were made.
Okay, Councilor Omeka.
I'm okay with going back on the library board now that I've got some time and I've learned Zoom. I'm a little more comfortable with it. It depends on whether Councillor Austin wants to continue. And if she does, then I'm fine to be her alternate.
Councillor Austin, can I get your comment, please?
I'd be happy to be the alternate like I was before. That's fine.
Okay, that being said, then, is there any more input into this topic? If not, I'd be looking for a motion to for Councillor Bomaka to be the our representative. Is that right, Councillor McGonigal?
I would move Councillor Bomaka as Lake Cowichan's representative on the Vancouver Island Regional Library Board, with Councillor Austin as her alternate.
Thank you very much. Seconded by Councillor Sandhu. Is there any discussion? Seeing no hands, I will call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Seeing none, that motion is carried. Congratulations. I look forward to hearing some special news once we you guys can get back up and meeting again. Thank you very much. There's no information or consent items on the reports, no council or committee reports, no other reports. That brings us to staff reports. Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, Your Worship. There was a report that was prepared by the planner, and I think you've all had an opportunity to view it. We've gone through all the required processes, the advertisements, and the proponent willing and able to speak to you in a couple of minutes if you want to hear him out. We also did get 2 letters, one which was opposed to it from a resident who lives on Eva Road, and the other was from the school who had nothing to report on.
Okay, councilors, would you like to sit tight and listen to the proponent, or Councilor McGonigal, is that a yes? Okay. There's the cue, Mr. Fernandez. I guess we're waiting for him to call, are we? Or?
Yeah, just give us a minute. He was going to call at 6:05.
Okay. It's a very good example to me how long it takes a process to come to fruition. I remember the days when Councilor McGonigal would have been there for sure, where we were sitting at a conference center in Ukiwit, and we were asked at AVICC whether we wanted to consider legalizing marijuana.
Just give me a second.
That had to be about 6 years ago now, I guess.
You still there, Stephen?
I am here.
Yes, so Stephen Alcu is on the line, so you want to give him an opportunity to speak to it?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Welcome, Steve.
Hi, everybody. I can't really hear you guys too well. Just like to say that we're really looking forward to having the opportunity, hopefully, to do business in the town of Lake Cowichan. We've been a positive impact in the town of Ladysmith so far, I believe, and I think it would be a good thing for the economy of the town, and we're the right guys for the job. I hope you've all had a chance to look over our material and realize that we're homegrown folks and we have homegrown values, and we intend to bring that to our business practices in your town. And that's about all I've got to say, and I guess I await your decision.
Okay, councilors, any questions? Councilor McGonigal.
If I may, and if you can hear me, Steve.
I can't very well. Maybe
I can repeat.
somebody closer would be able to.
Okay, I'll get our CAO to relay. I'm just wondering about employment opportunities within this facility, what that would entail in numbers.
Stephen, the question is, what are the employment opportunities that your business would bring?
Yeah, okay. So as far as employment goes, at the store in Ladysmith, we have 5 people working at this time. In the summer, we had to have a few more on. So there are retail, just cashier positions. There will be management, as well as the company grows. There's also different management positions that will become available. So at this time, for the town, I would say at that location, right off the hop, 2 to 3 locals, and myself, I'll be spending the vast majority of my time there for sure, trying to get things operating smoothly, and it'll grow as the company grows.
Follow up, if I may, through our CAO. Not unlike serving it right, there is also some certification for retail cannabis as well. Is that correct?
Do you hear that, Stephen?
No, I heard something about certification.
Yeah, certification and any regulations that you have to comply with.
Yeah, so me, myself here, and all my staff, everybody has to go through, there's a security screening that the government does, so it's a criminal background check thing of that matter, that usually, they have it pretty streamlined now, so I think they come back within a week to 10 days kind of thing. Following that, there is a program called Selling It Right, so much like food serving people and that kind of thing have to do. This one is just designed for cannabis sales. So it teaches the bud tender when you can sell, when you shouldn't sell, how to ID properly, etc. Also, we have a company-wide policy at this time that every bud tender does a cannabis sommelier course. So that gives them a lot of background knowledge about the product to better serve the customers so that everybody's experience is optimal. And that's it at this time.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. Any further questions from council members? Okay, well, thank you very much, Stephen. And so I guess, Mr. Fernandez, can you describe the next step to us, please?
The step would be to either approve it or not approve it. Basically, it would be a TUP of 3 years in length.
Okay, I've seen Councillor McGonigal's hand go up. Anybody second that? Councillor Sandu. Any further comments or questions?
Just with a comment through to the CAO while we've got this on the floor. With the 3-year temporary use permit, that can be relooked at after the 3 years.
Correct. You can only do an extension of 1 more 3 years.
And then after that, it resides within that address.
Will have to be a rezoning requirement.
Okay, so just under the temporary use permit, should there be any problems, then that can be pulled.
You could review it then, yes.
After the 3 years. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Good question. Thank you, Mr. McGonigal. Councillor Bonacca.
3-year TUP with a chance for 1 renewal. Following that, it would be a rezoning. What else did I hear? That if you guys could review if under any circumstances things weren't meeting the town's expectations, and I'm 100% good with all of that, yes.
That's about it.
Okay, Councillor Bonacca.
Question is to our CAO, does this have to go now to a public meeting?
It has already gone through that process.
So now we're just giving the temporary use permit.
Correct.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
And just if I may, going back to Councillor Womaca's question, we did go out to all of the neighborhood. We did also post it in 2 issues of the newspaper, and all we got back was 2 responses, 1 from the school district and 1 from a local resident.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Stephen.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait, I guess you'll just email me or?
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night. Okay, Councillor McGonigal.
Yeah, just piggybacking on the public process. I think it's problematic during these times that there wasn't an opportunity to have an in-person public meeting on this, unfortunately. So perhaps at a future town hall meeting, we can have this subject broached for discussion when we are able to attend in person, just to gauge some of the input from the general public, depending on how the vote goes. But I think to hear more than 2 responses is important to me, just how people are feeling one way or the other. So I hope we can put that on a future agenda, whether it be at a town hall meeting or whatever avenue we can decide. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I haven't been a part of a Zoom town hall yet, but I hear it's possible. Up to 100 participants, I believe. So perhaps that could be included in that discussion, and we'll see. Because you know, we don't know when we're going to be back to normal, so to speak. Yeah. Okay. Everybody good for a vote now? I'll call the question. All those in favor of the temporary use permit? And opposed? None opposed. That motion is carried. Thank you very much. And just joining the process late, I'm sure there was a lot of hard work that went into the beginning of this. And so thank you very much, councillors, for being there and getting it to this point. And here we go. So then we can move along to bylaws. None. New business, none. Media, public relations, and question period. I don't think we have any questions related to this meeting. None. No in camera, so we go to 13, adjournment. So a motion to adjourn, please. Councillor Omaka, seconded by Councillor Sandu. Any comment, questions? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much. This meeting ends, and will we take 1 or 2 minutes? Will we get lined up? 1 minute is probably enough, to find your agendas. Before we move on to the Public Works agenda, chaired by Councillor Omaka.
Do we have our Public Works Superintendent?
Yes, he is here.
He is? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Omaka, the ball is in your court. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please be
You're
patient. First time chairing on Zoom. So I'd like to open the Public Works and Environmental Services Committee meeting December the 15th, 2020 at 6:15 p.m. And we'd like to first acknowledge that we're meeting on the Subosset First Nations land. And I would also like to start by thanking our superintendent, Mr. Sandu. This is the last Public Works meeting of 2020. And also to send thanks to his, not only his foreman, Keepy Joel, but also to all the Public Works employees for a great job this year. I know it was hard. I think we've had 2 superintendents, an acting superintendent, 2 foremans, an acting foreman, and COVID. So I'd like to say to all of them, we wish them a Merry Christmas. Great job. And I, for one, am pleased, as well as I'm sure all of council is. So with that, we will call the meeting to order. And so one introduction of a late item is going to be an amendment to new business, which will be C, and that will be organics pickups for 2021, I believe, to January of 2022. And so any more introduction of any more late items? Okay. So seeing none, we're looking for approval of the agenda. Councillor Sandu, seconded by Councillor McGonigal. So all in favor? Okay, moved. So business arising and any unfinished business is ongoing items, which is parking limits and enforcement of the same. So we would move that to CAO, Mr. Fernandez.
Well, this is an ongoing issue that
Just ongoing?
Yeah, it's ongoing, and I think we have to come to a resolution on this issue because it seems like, every summer we have to deal with it. So we would probably be best spending a bit of time trying to resolve this.
Okay. Councillor Austin? You have to unmute.
I did. I thought the superintendent had suggested that maybe we would have the 2-hour parking during the summertime, but in the wintertime we would have it off, so we're not worried about it so much right now. Is that not the case?
I don't think that was confirmed.
No,
Is
it
it
hasn't
something
been confirmed, but could we maybe talk about that and see if that's a good idea and take off the signs that say 2-hour parking right now and put them back on April to the end of September, something like that? Or we just want to keep talking about it?
No, you can, maybe refer back to staff and we can come back with a recommendation.
Okay,
I think what the way to deal with that is we can still keep the hours to 2-hour limit,
Mhm.
but maybe have less enforcement in the winter months. Maybe that's something that we can,
I don't know. I think it would be better not to worry about it, but whatever.
yeah, because I mean, you can go to any municipality, there's, you don't have 2 sets of parking hours.
Councillor Sandhu?
Are we talking only about like South Shore, or are we talking about our summer parking issues? Like, is this a combination of all of it?
It's a catch-all, yes, indeed.
So I think that I'd like to make a motion that we refer this back to staff for some options. So come to our January 2021 Public Works meeting, if staff could bring back a couple recommendations for discussion.
Councillor Austin, are you seconding it? That's a second.
Yes.
And any, Councillor McGonigal?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think it's important when we do bring that back that we include the current bylaw and the enforcement issues within that bylaw, so we're all on the same page as to what the infraction entails, what the limits are, and how it's enforceable. I think there's some confusion within that bylaw with maybe some of us not quite understanding how it's implemented. And then moving forward, if we do choose a winter hiatus, so to speak, instead of taking the signs down, it wouldn't be anything to cover them up with some
Yeah.
sort of
Right.
entity, but that can come back from staff for sure. But included in the discussion is how we attend to the problems in the summertime. And we had talked about a group forming to accommodate some of those issues, whether it was some business entities and uptown businesses that are basically the ones that are involved in that. But if staff can bring back with that sort of implementation as to how we move forward, that would be appropriate.
Mayor Day?
Thank you very much, Councilor Wamaka. I'm just going to tag on to the motion to refer back to staff and just request that maybe some consideration be given to the fact there are residents on that street, and there are some properties that don't supply any on-site parking that perhaps a permit for a fee might be charged or something like that, but just some thought and consideration given to that matter. Because there are residents along there that do not have on-site parking. Thank you.
Councillor Sandhu?
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on what Councillor McGonigal said about, a roundtable with other groups and organizations in the community. When the staff comes back with a report, then we could go forward with this and start discussion. And so we've got some things on the table to, change, add, whatever, but at least it starts the discussion. So.
Thank you. So the motion on the table was to refer it back to staff to come back with a report at the January Public Works. So all in favor? Oh, sorry, you'd like to speak, Mr.?
Yeah, if I may, staff have also got an idea that may be a little different from what you're proposing here in terms of parking. We would like to be able to talk to some of the businesses and come up with a little different solution that may work. So it's not just limited to the hours of parking. It may be, we might want to get into a relationship with some of the businesses that might work in the long term.
Okay. So the motion on the table then is to refer it to staff to come back with a report. So I'll call the question. All in favor? None opposed, so that carries. So we have no delegations and we have no correspondence. And we, at this time, don't have any verbal comments from the public. So we'll move on to the Superintendent of Public Works and Engineering Services for his report for November 2020. If Mr. Sandhu is there.
Yes, indeed. I'll let him. He doesn't want to be on TV. Go for it.
So you've got the reports there. Have you got any questions on it? I'm sure you've had time to go through it all.
One question was I tried to go on our town website today, and these were not posted on the agenda though. There was only the special meeting, so I don't know whether the public has had a chance to see your reports either. So if those could be put on.
They are on the website.
Okay, I couldn't find them on the
Yeah,
agenda.
it's under the meeting schedule.
Okay. I was on the council
Yeah.
agenda.
That only holds council meetings. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think Councillor McGonigal had his hand up.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through to our superintendent. I see the hydro at the backup pump station. Has that been implemented? The upgrade finished, or is it still in the process?
It's still in the process. We got our quotes all in last week. We talked to the engineer. I'm just waiting word when the electrician can start on it.
Follow up, if I may. Under the danger trees, I know that there has been significant work done within Ravine Park to limit perhaps some problems within the infrastructure there, and excellent job.
Thank you.
Mayor Day.
Thank you very much. Just wanting to know the danger tree removal work around town. Now, would that include parts of the Cowichan Valley Trail, say from A&W to the end of Greendale Road, or wherever the town boundary is on the Cowichan Valley Trail, or is that, are there different jurisdictions? I think I know the answer, but I'm just trying to get some clarification from staff.
That part of the trail is maintained by the CVRD. The town does not maintain that. It's an agreement between, I believe, the town.
Ministry of Transportation and
Transportation,
CVRD.
CVRD.
Okay, so if I may follow up quickly, thank you. Do you know if they've done an assessment this year on the, I'm sure I could just say this part of the trail, but the trail in particular from here to Duncan or whatever, pick a section. Has there been one danger tree assessment at this end?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Okay. Apparently they say there's some widow makers in the making there. So I'll leave it at that.
Any particular areas?
Between Greendale and the other end of Greendale, I know that and it's not me, I've heard it from the public that walk those trails.
Yeah, well, I can pass that information on to the CVRD parks.
Okay. And I do have another question on an item further down the list, but I'll give way to another counselor if they have any questions.
Councillor Austin.
I think MOTI, you're just talking the trail that's on the south side, not the one that runs along the edge of town on the south side, you know, from say Hammond Road along. You're not worried about that one because that's under MOTI basically. And they did do some work last year, but we do have to continue to talk to them to make sure, because lots of trees fall down over that area as well. And the CVRD doesn't maintain that part.
Yeah. So if I had to answer that question, yes, I'd be concerned about both sides, but I was speaking to the north trail, the Cowichan Valley Trail.
Okay. So then we'll move on. Oh, Mayor Day again.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up, because there's an item in this report that I don't know if the public has read it, but it says a reminder to all residents that it is their responsibility to keep sidewalks and boulevards adjacent to their property clear of brush, weeds, tree limbs, leaves, refuse, etc. Hedges must be kept trimmed to the back of the sidewalks. Cooperation by residents would be most appreciated. So I just wanted to highlight that, and probably not everybody knows that. There are some sidewalks even along South Shore Road that are now 2.5 feet wide, and it's difficult for folks to navigate them, especially on mobility devices. And another troublesome area that I'm just picking on two this month, but Wellington Road, where it's 2 feet wide in many spaces. So I do have photographs, but and just being an avid walker and cyclist, I just wanted to identify that, and was wondering if staff could give some increased enforcement to that and sort of do some outreach. And I've read the bylaw, and it states that if the compliance is not met, that the town is able to have the work done and bill the homeowners. And yeah, so I would just encourage staff, if I could, to do what they can in that to get some form of compliance in some areas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And can we also possibly post on our town website, because there's also the responsibility for snow removal too. Yes. So December is coming up, and we haven't seen the little white flakes yet, but we might as well be proactive and put that on. If we can get staff to do that, I'd appreciate it.
We'll do that.
Thank you. Any more questions to our superintendent? So then we'll move on to his report on the water treatment plant update, please.
Yeah, so the water treatment plant is operating well. We haven't had any warnings or any advisories that we need to worry about this time.
Any questions for our superintendent on our Mr. McGonigal?
Thank you for the mister. Appreciate it. Now that I've got my pigtails off. Well, just a note on the highlights with the heavier rains in October resulting in elevated raw water turbidity. Even that did not result in a boil water, because the turbidity is not measured at the raw water anymore. It's measured at the outlet of the treated portion. So that is where the boil water would come into place now if there is a problem within turbidity for that. So I just wanted to note that the turbidity is measured at a different point now, not at the raw water, but at the treated portion at the end. So everything's working fine. And it's nice to see that there is a point for the public to go to look at the samples that have been taken through Island Health and the results of those.
Thank you, Councillor McGonigal. Any further questions? So we will move on then to our superintendent's, or sorry, I guess it's just the November 2020 operations performance report, which we all have. And did you wish to speak on that? Either our CAO or?
I could speak to that. Just for council's information, this is a much abbreviated version of the reports that we've been providing to council. If you want it even more abbreviated, we can do that. But I think it basically covers everything that you need to know. And just as a matter of course, yesterday's NTU was hovered around 0.1. So that gives you an idea of how well we're keeping our water system operating.
Perfect. Councillor McGonigal.
So I'm going to take you to the total precipitation graph. And under that, on the turbidity, you'll note a spike of 1.2 in the raw water. And on that day, it was below 0.35
Yeah.
at the treated portion.
Yes.
So to say that that there is a problem is in the treatment portion is false. The implementation of the filtration systems is working effectively, given we've gone from 1.2 down to 0.35 after the treatment. So just remembering that that's where it is measured, not in the raw water turbidity. So that just verifies the point that I made earlier.
Thank
If
you.
I may, the other thing is our water systems operator is trying to keep the chemical treatment as low as possible. He doesn't want to put in too much chemicals.
I guess we're all good on that. No questions? Thank you very much. So new business, we're going to move on to parking control signage, parking lines, and orientation of same. So Mayor Dave?
Yes, thank you. I just wanted that to be added on, and seeing as how we're still looking at parking limits and looking for staff feedback, a staff report, and then going out to the public afterwards or the local businesses and having those conversations that maybe they could include these issues in their report. And the only reason I brought it out to light is because we don't have traffic lines on our main street, and there might be a very good reason, but not always to reflect on my experiences, but at one time I tried to pull into a spot and the back end of my vehicle had to hang out on the road because the person in front of me didn't move forward and actually fill the space and left 20 or 15 feet in front. And I assumed they were going to move, but they didn't. If there was lines, they might be encouraged to park within those lines. And I know in some parts of town, there's small lines like in front of community services where it's just the corner of a parking spot painted on the pavement. And then, yeah, so just to have a look at the lineage, whatever you want to say, and orientations of signs, particularly the handicap version of the signs, the speed limit signs, the yield signs, and the school zone signs are all facing the flow of the traffic. But for some reason, and it might be a very good one, the handicap parking signs are facing the side of the road. So you actually have to pull right up and park beside it to notice it's there and what it says on there. So I was wondering if there's a reason why they're facing a different way. And also to give a little more impact to our handicap parking spots by using the template with the big blue square and the white wheelchair person inside instead of the much smaller version that we're currently using, which is just a white lines that are perhaps maybe 18 inches by 18 inches a diagram. So just asking for some thought be put in that one as you're looking at parking. That'd be my wish. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor McGonigal was next.
Thank you. And I think the delineation of parking spots would have to go through MOTI, if I'm not mistaken, to ensure that it fits within the parameters of their regulations, et cetera, on the main street that we do not own. The temporary delineation of handicap was brought on by some problems in the summertime, and was decided to implement those perhaps on a temporary basis. If we're looking to implement them on a more permanent basis, then perhaps your suggestion of the universal handicap signage is appropriate. Looking forward to what comes back from the report. Just wondering if there was to be some delineation of parking spots, if that would have to be approved by MOTI.
Councillor Austin?
Yes, I just wanted to talk about the one that's in the parking lot by the pharmacy. There's two there, and I did speak to our CAO about that earlier. They're just the regular size spots because they didn't want to repaint the whole side of that parking lot. But I think for next year, that one that's at the edge of the parking lot up against the building, maybe just put in one full-sized handicap there instead of the two. I had a complaint from a resident that said it wasn't wide enough, and and I said, well, just take up the two if you have to, but if somebody else was parked in the other one. So that one needs to be looked at, and maybe just make one and then redo the lines all along that side of the building. Does that sound like that would work? Because you have one on the outside on South Shore as well, so that would leave two handicaps in the parking lot, and one in the parking lot and one outside. It's just not the right size.
We can look at that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, so new business B is going to be the virtual water treatment plant tour. Mr. Fernandez?
Yeah, this is something that we've talked about, and I mentioned that again to Mike yesterday. And that's something that, because of COVID-19 and the conditions we are, we're operating under, it may just be may take a bit more time.
Yeah. Yeah, totally understandable. So I think on new business C, I think was going to be the amendment of new business, which was, let me see this one. So this one was from our superintendent of public works, and it was our reviewing of our curbside organics and refuse collection. And Public Works is recommending that for the months of November 2021 through to January 2022, that the organics get collected every second week at the same schedule as regular refuse collection. So if either the superintendent or our CAO wish to elaborate on that.
Do you want to speak to it? Yes.
Yeah, and we just did a review of how much organics is getting put out in certain months of the year, and so we're finding there's not a lot going out. So we're gonna try to pick it up every second week and see how that works for us. We're gonna do it for three months, maybe 4.
And so, well, I guess I'm echoing. And so we would be notifying the public of this?
Yes, it'll go on this New Year's calendar.
New Year's calendar, okay. Any of the councillors wish to speak on this one? Councillor McGonigal?
I think this is a good pilot project to see if it would work going forward. And we don't want to do every 2 weeks during the summertime, of course, for obvious reasons. And during the fall months, because of bears, etc., you don't want to keep it within the container too long. But if you drive around now during organic pickup, it appears that there isn't the buy-in that we had anticipated when we first implemented the Kitchen Organics program. When you look at the difference of tipping fees between landfill waste and organics, it is significant. So the more people that we can encourage to buy into the Kitchen Organic program, the better the fiscal responsibility is within the waste management stream. I think up to 40% in weight can be transferred from landfill to the organic pickup. From the pricing of $98, I believe it is, for organics, to $120 approximately, and I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it is significant, the difference between the organics and the landfill. So again, a public education on what can go into the organics. It's not just coffee grounds and banana peels. Pizza boxes can go in there. They're looking for the carbon within that to help with the decomposition of the kitchen organics as well. But I would be interested to see some numbers in a future meeting on the pickup. And I know that our superintendent had indicated that there is a log of the pickup within the organics program. I'd be interested to see what the buy-in actually is.
Mayor Day.
Thank you. And Councilor McGonigal might be aware of this as well. At one point, the CBRD, I don't know if they funded it themselves or if they got a small grant, but they actually, they did get a grant, I believe, and they had folks follow the organics to the and the waste to the our transfer station at Bings Creek, and actually open bags and get an average percentage of what was in the household waste in the CBRD. Just throwing it out there, there may be some small grants for under some form of waste reduction or climate change adaptation or something that, you know, if we ever want to go down that road, if we don't think we have enough data to build a stronger message towards the public that it's way better to compost. And so I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. Councillor Austin?
I just had one thing. We always put our shredding into the recycling, but if they take pizza boxes, will they take like paper bags of shredding too? For like, I put all my stuff in my own composters, but I have the odd thing that goes in. Is shredding one of the things you can put in there as well? No? Why not? It's paper. It's
Well, they
my
pick it up
rabbit
that-
eats it. Okay.
And with the pizza boxes, if I may, it's only, if it's clean, it should go in the recycling.
But shredding is clean, so I'm just maybe I'll phone up and ask the CVRD what they think about that. I know they say Kleenex can go in if it's fairly, you know, Kleenexes and things like that. So
I think shredded paper because of the ink. I'm not sure though.
I don't know. Okay, just thought I'd ask.
Okay. I think maybe when we get around to doing a town hall again, it would be good to bring some information forward to the public again, because I had no idea up until about 6 months ago that pizza boxes could go into compost. So it's quite interesting. And like Councillor McGonigal said, education and get it out to people, it might change it a little bit. So Councillor McGonigal again.
So I would move that moving forward in those months indicated in the staff report that we run that as a pilot project. So I will move implementation of organic pickup every 2 weeks through November 2021 to January 2022.
And that is seconded by Councillor Austin. So any further discussion? So we'll call that question. Councillor Sandhu. Oh, okay, call the question. All in favor? I got 4 unanimous, so we'll pass that on to staff. Thank you. So do we have any notices of motion? Okay, public relations items. Councillor McGonigal.
I just want to thank Public Works for taking on the Christmas decoration program. I think in a difficult time, they did a great job. When you come into the entrance of town, it's always stunning as you come around the corner and see that all lit up. I know it's not quite as elaborate as it has been in past years, perhaps, but given the limitations on staff, etc., I just wanted to say thank you very much for what you did.
Yeah, thank you. Any other councillors? I don't know what we have coming up in December. It's getting too close to Christmas, so I think all the public relations have been done. I don't know if we brought it up yet, but Stuff the Truck was absolutely unbelievable. And I think we're going to do quite well at the food bank here. That was records that they set. That was good to see. So when we go now to question period, and we did receive.
Madam Chair. We did?
Oh, sorry.
I was just wondering if we could take a short break and allow those watching, if they have questions, to send them into general at Town of Lake Cowichan. Just give them an opportunity to do that. If we could just take 2 or 3 minutes, That's all it would take for those watching to submit a question, and then we'll do
Okay.
them all at the same time. So if we can come, and I know it's your meeting, but it's just a suggestion that we at least afford that opportunity until we implement what we're going to do virtually within our procedures bylaw.
Okay. The CAO is
We're
there
we're
to
checking-
receive
We're checking on the emails, that's.
right now? Okay, so you'll just let us know when you're ready?
We will indeed.
Okay.
No humming while we're waiting, Madam Chair, please.
Why? I'll start singing Christmas carols.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You
Self-portrait.
Anybody got Christmas music?
I think Chair Vomaka was humming some earlier.
And I was told to stop.
No, carry on. I should not be a humbugger.
Alexa, play Christmas tunes.
There you go.
Are we ready? Oh,
We're ready. Did you
I think-
want me to go with my question first?
Yeah,
Keith?
go ahead.
Okay, so the first question that was sent to us was, good evening, under the Public Works and Environmental Committee agenda for the meeting, December 15th, 2020. Number 3, business arising. B, ongoing items, parking limits and enforcement of the same. My question to council regarding parking on North Shore Road from the water pumping station to the First Nations border and sidewalk, the waterfront side, not the residential side. Is it possible to put a few no parking signs along this section of highway since there's no sidewalks? There is a new renter that parks continuously on the waterfront edge from 5 to 6 p.m. and often overnight, making walking pedestrians walk on the road at night when visibility is very limited and lighting is limited. A no parking sign will make them park in their driveway and allow safe passage for pedestrians. Plus will not be in the way of snow plows in the future. It is also a protective area of the watershed, and if it gets icy, it could be a future hazard. Sincerely, William Ruffley. I hope I pronounced it right. So would you like to speak on that, our CAO?
Well, this is an ongoing issue we've had to face from Ms. Ruffley, and we had passed it by the RCMP also, and they did not see an issue. So really, it's something that council will need to look at and see if we need to put up no parking signs. But at the same time, we're looking at an active transportation network study that's being undertaken now. We could probably include that in that study. And I think that would be a good place for it.
Yes. What I was thinking. Any councillors wish to speak on that? So we'll just leave that with our CAO and staff for the active transportation network. And did you have any email questions?
Yes, we have one.
Okay.
And it's from Martin Bruhan. And the question is, why would a virtual tour of the water treatment plant be impacted by COVID? Good question.
And did you want to speak on that?
Well, it's just that right now we try and limit the number of people that go into the treatment plant. There's generally no more than 2. And because of the close quarters, it's not very spacious in there. And, but, that's not to say we cannot do it. We will try and make this work, but I will leave it up to the superintendent of public works to deal with the logistics of that.
Yeah, we always have to keep in mind the protection of our employees on the work site too. So it would probably be better later down the road. I agree. Mayor Date?
I just want to add to the substance of the CEO's comments that, it's not even 6 months into being into full operation. And if anybody reads the reports thoroughly, they can see that the operator is busy. So maybe, and it's also, we're in the extreme weather season, so he's even more busier monitoring and adding subtracting chemicals. So it may not be the best of time for him to take an hour or 2 to do that virtual tour now, but maybe spring and summer is a more opportune time.
Thank you. Councillor Austin?
Yes, I was going to say a virtual tour would mean that we wouldn't be in the plant anyway. It would just be 1 or 2 people, but
Right.
it's true that they're busier at this time. So it's not because of COVID that we're not having the virtual. It's probably more because of being busy, right? Yes? Yes?
Mr. Fernandez?
Yes.
Both, I would say.
Yeah,
Both?
yeah. Okay.
So no more questions from the public. So I will end the meeting once again by thanking our Public Works and to the public that are watching the YouTube. Our Public Works has done a fantastic job of making sure that you've got clean drinking water. They've provided you with garbage pickup, your sanitation, sidewalks, your roads, your parks, and it would be nice that if you saw them, give them a wave and a thank you and Merry Christmas. I'm sure that little bit of appreciation acknowledgement would go a long way to them. They've done a wonderful job this year, and it would be great if we all showed our thanks to them. And thank you very much. And with that, I'll call for adjournment. Councillor McGonigal, seconded by Mayor Day. Call the question. We're all in favor, I think. Yes. And we'll move on then to a 10-minute break to our Parks and Recreation meeting. Thank you.
And that's all right. We can,
Pardon me?
Probably 5 minutes is enough. We don't,
5 minutes. Okay.
yeah, I think. If everybody's watching, you know.
mute it right here, right? Move the mouse. I can't see it.
Bathroom break, a cup of tea break.
Oh, there.
Bob looks funny. Bob's in his Stanfields. I wonder if I push this back further. Probably gonna fall off. There you go, that's better. I can't believe those lights came on. Okay, well, everybody went away. What's she doing? She hasn't used her keychain very well. You can turn the light off on the rabbit. Did you put the chickens to bed? You've gone. They've gone now. You've
Might
gone.
want to mute, Carolyn.
It's okay. It's him. I'm joking with him about his cat and animal and the rabbit.
So my new little sign I got given to me today, you can't see it because I think it'll come in backwards. I don't know. Can you see it or does it
Yep.
come back? Yeah.
Oh, yours is broken. That's
Yeah,
true.
That's
I
true.
agree.
Yeah.
There's a few people that have that problem, but anyway. Da-da-dee. Oh, we've lost, there's the mayor. Is Councillor McGonigal there? There he is. Have we lost Joe? Joe's over here.
Yeah, that's fine. It's better to be safe.
Huh?
Better to be safe.
Yeah.
Always in a panic.
Oh, we got, where's the picture? What do you put the picture? Huh? What the heck is it?
What are they doing? What are they doing there?
No, can't you see me?
No, we
We
can't.
can hear you.
There you are. We see you and Ronnie. Okay.
Okay,
Are we ready?
ready.
Okay, I'd like to call the Parks and Recreation and Culture Committee meeting of Tuesday, December 15th to order at 7:05. And I'd just like to say Lorna thanked everybody, and I'd like to thank them too, because Public Works does all our parks. And everything's looking good right now, and we're really pleased that everything's looking good, especially Centennial Park. And I would like to say, are there any introduction of late items? I don't think I got any. Did you have one, Mr. Fernandez?
Yes, I do indeed. At the end of the meeting, council may want to go in camera. Section 92 of the community charter requires that before a meeting is closed, it must state why it's being closed. And the reason it's being closed is to deal with the same item, but it's covered under two sections of the act. It is dealing with negotiations and related discussions respecting a proposed service of a proposed provision of a municipal service that are at the preliminary stages, and the other one is dealing with land.
Okay. Do I have a mover for the approval of the agenda with the addition? Councillor Womaka and Mayor Day, all in favor? Thank you. Business arising and unfinished business, ongoing items still being addressed. The update on the columbarium, is that the superintendent? Or
Yes, we're just actually starting to work on getting the viewing platform. It was Joseph and I just discussed that this week, so we'll make a final plan on it and get some quotes on it.
okay. Any
Sign,
questions?
and the sign is still on its way. We haven't received it yet. They've told us it's been shipped, but we have not received it yet.
Where did the sign come from? Was it not the one in Victoria?
Mortimer's, yes.
Mortimer's. Oh,
Well, it was ordered through there, but it's being made back east.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Any questions from councillors or mayor on that? Okay, thank you for that. Delegations and representations, none. Correspondence, none. Verbal comment, we'll probably have some of that at the end if we ask, right? Superintendent, under report, Superintendent of Public Works and Engineering Services report for November 2020.
Yeah, so you've got that there. Have you got any questions on it?
No, it's a good report. Anybody have questions? Mayor Day.
Thank you. Just wondering, with the bullet point 4, with the ongoing work for Stone Avenue Park, it does mention dog park in that in your report there. Was that something that was put to the public in determination, or the APC determination of location, or is this a Public Works recommendation? Just curious, because I was
It's a Public Works recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
I just have a question on that as well. Oh, sorry. It doesn't seem like a very big area for a dog park. Do you have a measurement of that area?
No, it was just a consideration.
Okay.
And actually we're looking for input from mayor and councillor, so.
Okay. Councillor Womaka?
I was just going to ask if we can get a clarification again. The washrooms have been winterized, but which one again is open for the winter and what day and hours?
The one at the seniors building,
Okay,
right across from the town office here.
okay.
And 8 to 4. Probably
Monday,
about 8:30 to 4, actually, by the time they get it opened up.
Monday to Friday?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you again, Madam Chair. Just for clarification, because the last comments I heard on washrooms is that the Saywell Park would be open, and now I'm hearing they're not. So we could safely say to the public when they ask that question that Saywell Park washrooms are closed for the winter now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And when it was mentioned that input from mayor and councillor on the dog park, just wondering, I know having looked into this in my previous life as a councillor that there's lots of great ideas on the internet, and I'm sure you'll have looked at those or look at those and or compare it to other municipalities with dog parks to make sure that we're actually giving something with enough space for dogs to safely socialize. Thank you very much.
Right. Anything else? Councillor McGonigal.
Well, I was an acting mayor at one time,
Word.
so
I'm all
that's fine. Through on the question of the dog park, I think the discussion was to have a number of satellite dog parks throughout maybe some of the parks, whether it be Stone Avenue, Pine Street, and not having one central location, but giving an opportunity for perhaps some neighborhood smaller dog parks. And that's not to say that we couldn't implement that within the Centennial upgrade as well. There was discussion about that earlier, but I think the initial discussion was just to try to implement one at least in the interim where there would be a possibility of a small one. And I believe that was where the superintendent was going with this suggestion.
Right. Thank you. Mayor Day.
Thank you very much, Councilor McGonigal, for the background on that. That's good to know. Just one more question that's not on the report, but we're going to call it the hockey box at Satwin Avenue Park is treated plywood, and is there plans to paint that at some time in the future?
Yep.
I believe there was a time frame, and I'll have to look into it. They recommended to leave it unpainted for, I believe, a year. So this coming spring or summer, it'll be painted.
Right. Thank you. Anything else on that? Thank you for that report. B is Mayor Day on Active Transportation Network System Project and tour with representatives of Urban Systems.
Thank you. And just to briefly let you know that I was on the initial phone conversation with the planner, CAO, and the superintendent of public works, and I'm just listening in. And there was some conversation around the folks coming to Lake Cowichan and doing a real tour, a socially distanced tour. So we did that on a bicycle, and we toured the right from the waterfront walkway all the way up to the end of Joel Road and all points around the circumference. And then the group themselves went and explored the heart of the town and the individual subdivisions after that. So and they seemed to be very thorough on what they were recording and taking pictures of. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they bring forward through their public engagement and the final report. So thank you.
That's good. Any questions? Councilor McGonigal?
Thank you. And I think there was some direction to Urban Systems as to what council was looking for in the active transportation plan. And where the focus should remain within pedestrian safety, et cetera, in certain areas. I'm looking forward to seeing the report and what the recommendations coming forward from the superintendent of public works on how we can implement that. One of the projects that was thought of piggybacking was the continuation of the First Nations trail along North Shore Road, and whether that could be implemented in that active transportation plan. So looking at all aspects, even in the implementation of the initial weir design on a walkway, that was broached as moving forward in that active transportation design as well. So let's see what comes forward with that and how we can implement that fiscally responsibly.
Fiscally responsibly. Thank you. Mayor Day?
So just to give a comment on what Councilor McGonigal mentioned about the weir and a walkway, and that conversation was brought up a few years back. And did anybody watch the weir presentation online this week?
I forgot.
Yeah.
I haven't.
So it was very encouraging to see that they placed that in the concept design, not budgeted for it, but it sounded like that was something that they were definitely going to move ahead and give further consideration to when the project moves forward. And the anticipated start date is 2024. So interesting to note on that, because it's Parks, Recreation and Culture, that there are also letters written in with comments and questions on could we incorporate a backflow recreation park where wakeboarders could skid along on the water going over top of the weir, and also include a whitewater kayak course on the river side of the weir. So some people really reaching out there looking for other recreational activities, but the walkway is definitely in consideration.
Good, good. Councillor McGonigal?
If I may, through to staff, was there any staff representation on urban systems walkabout within that meeting?
No. What happened is we kind of the staff opted out because we didn't have bikes to go biking around. So we thought it was best to leave it to Mayor Day, because they came with bikes, those two people from Urban Systems.
Okay.
We'll have to buy bikes for staff.
Yes, I think
Sounds like a good idea.
Electric bikes.
electric bikes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's in the budget. Anybody else? At the moment, thank you for that. That looks like that's moving forward. New business, status of the floating walkway. This is the one that the CLEC, I imagine. Is this Mayor Day? Is this?
Yeah, if I can speak to that if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, the part that was in a state of disrepair has been removed. And so we would be looking at the next phase of putting and replacing that.
Oh,
So it's no longer a danger to the public.
okay. That's good. Which part was it? Was it the farthest part along?
The furthest part along, that's my understanding, yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Anything from that? Nobody? Okay. Trail signage, is this the trail signage? Is this different trail signage than Trans-Canada Trail or not?
This is probably yours, Council.
Okay, well, we can take that off. I think Mr. Sandu says we'll get to that soon. There's still the 3 signs that have to go up on the south side of the trail from Hammond to Joel.
Yes.
We'll get to those soon, after Christmas.
Well, we're going to try before Christmas, but if not, we'll get you after Christmas.
Okay, before the snow, okay?
Yes.
Okay. C is park signage. Who would like to speak to that? This is other signage now. Is it labeling the parks? Because we've got Kate's Park, we've got Kasapi Park. Is there other signage that somebody wanted to have on here? I think
it's a Ted Burns sign, I think.
that needs to be replaced, but is Zach working on that now?
That's been referred to him.
Okay.
He hasn't started yet.
Oh, okay. Is that on Council or Mayor Day?
No, it's a budget amount, but has there ever been any talk of naming Stone Avenue Park with a sign and Salem Avenue Park as well? So just putting it out there. I know it's a budget item, but.
Okay, keep that on the agenda then, probably.
You can refer to budget if you want.
Okay, refer to budget, certainly. Anything else on that? No. Notices of motion. Whoops, I'm fading. Public relations items. I think we've sort of, there's not much going on at the moment, but I did say that I've really enjoyed working with Island Health this year, and we had our flu clinic, and I think we're going to probably be tasked to do some COVID injections. Maybe not for a while, but I'm sure they will be doing them at the different places. And I do think they think maybe by the spring, early spring, maybe March, not sure. Just have to see. It is more important to get the healthcare workers and frontline workers and nurses and doctors and all that kind of thing. Firemen, I think they need it before us, but that's not up to me. So question period. Do we want to wait for emails?
Good, yes. Give us a couple minutes.
2 minutes for emails. So that's 7:20, so 7:22.
Have you all mastered the Zoom shortcuts?
What are they?
I'm not going to tell you because you haven't mastered them.
Well, I don't know what they are.
Well, there's Control S, space bar.
Oh, I don't bother. I just use the mouse.
There you go.
I don't know.
Because if you do that and then you go to WebEx, different shortcuts.
Okay.
So I've been using both WebEx and Zoom, and I get confused in the
Going
shortcuts.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Zoom's okay. I think it's good. We're going to FaceTime with the family at Christmas on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. FaceTime's better for them to do. I think they prefer that. And some people are cooking all their dinners at the same time and cooking the same things. Apparently, there's quite a few different things that people are doing to try and almost be together at Christmas. Oh, it's 7:22. Do we have any emails? We've lost Joe again. He's off. He's off out.
Probably checking the
Yeah.
server.
Oh, yeah. They'd have to go in the office. People aren't that as concerned about parks in the winter, are they? Do we have any emails? You got to unmute.
There are no emails so far.
Nobody loves me. Okay, that's it. I'm giving up this one. This is not fair. Did anybody have anything else on parks? No. Park signage? No. Done. Okay, so public relation items, as we said, there's not much going on. We want to adjourn into in camera.
Yes.
CEO, want to mention that again, please?
So I can read this out. Section 92 of the community charter requires that before a meeting or part of a meeting is closed to the public, council must state the reason why it's going into in camera, and the basis on which the meeting is to be closed falls under Section 91E, which is the acquisition, disposition of land or improvements, and K, negotiations and related discussions respecting the proposed provision of a municipal service that are at their preliminary stages.
Do
I would
we,
move that we go in camera.
okay, Councillor McGonigal and Councillor Vomaka?
And can we take a minute break so we can just deal with the issue of
Closing us down?
yeah.
Thank you.